We live in a wonderful time if you're an audiophile. Better, cheaper gear is being released, and there are definitely companies on the rise. There's some old companies that are kind of on the decline. We've got rookies coming into the game. We've got old veterans that are crushing it. But today we're going to talk about the companies that I think are on the rise and maybe a couple that are on the decline. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, maybe out of your new Cheap Audio Man coffee mug, and let's talk about a whole bunch of hi-fi companies that you should pay attention to because of their meteoric rise. The reason why some of these companies are my favorite companies is, well, number one, they make awesome products. Number two, the things that I've seen in life in general is a company has a North Star, true north. They know what they're building towards. At the end of the day, they know what they want to give the customer, whether it be affordable gear, whether it be like groundbreaking, awesome gear. But the point is, they have a culture in their company about where they are heading. And yes, you may kind of get off track every now and again, but you know where you want to end up being. So it's very easy to course correct. If a person doesn't have a North Star, doesn't have an overall goal of where they want to end up, well, they're not going to end up there. I know, a little bit philosophical. So I'm going to go through these companies. I'm going to set myself a timer to keep this under a minute for each company, or try. I have a tendency to drone on and on about stuff. Advanced Paris. Advanced Paris. I can't remember what audio show I was at, but I went into a room. It was all dark. It was packed with people. It was like a double room. And along one side of the room was just blue lights, yumminess. And it was like very reflective, very shiny front plates on each one of these components. And I was blown away. It sounded great, but in my mind, I thought this is great, but it's going to be 10 grand. Now, they had the A10 Classic, which is an integrated amplifier. It comes in at $2,500, which a lot of people will think that's not cheap at all, and I totally get it. But $2,500 is a lot less than $7,500 or $10,000, and that's what I thought these products were gonna cost. So I was thrilled when I found out that they were more affordable than that. I asked them if I could get one in, and it is now my favorite product that sits in my living room. And I talked to them quite a bit. They have an awesome roadmap, and they have awesome people driving the car on that road. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. It's right down there. You can click on it. If you don't like me, you can always unsubscribe later. Trust me, people do it all of the time. Thank you so much for watching. Also, if I've missed a company that you think is on the rise or on the decline, please put it in the comments. Cambridge Audio. Oh my goodness. I just got a chance to go to London and I got a chance to meet their people. And going back to the True North thing, they have two engineers that have been there for over 20 years. Their software guy has been there for over 13 years. Their marketing guy has been in the industry forever. They have a new product guy that has really amazing ideas, and they're collaborating with companies that are outside of the audiophile world. And they're coming up with new products like the Evo 1, which is a little bit less traditional. It's an all-in-one kind of a console stereo reimagined, bunch of DSP, and it's so beautiful to look at. They still make the AXA25, the AXA35, the SX series of speakers, which are all super affordable, but their other products like the CXA series, the EXA series, are really pushing the limits at the price point for sonic wonderment, and they look good too. But for me, it comes back to the people, the overall ethos, and the overall goal of the company, and Cambridge is on the rise. Oh, Geshelli Labs, some of my favorite people in the whole world. They make everything in Florida. Awesome company. And they started out with very affordable stuff. Now they're going up the chain. They're also getting into 2-channel amplification and high-end DACs. And they've teamed up with Fidelity Imports that does a lot with a bunch of brands so that people can actually hear the products at dealerships. And their next vision is into higher-end 2-channel stereo wonderments. They're also collaborating with companies like APOS. It is really cool to see their journey from making really affordable DACs and headphone amps to now making monoblocks, preamps, really high-end DACs. And it couldn't happen to a better group of people. But it makes sense because, again, they have a true north. They have a vision for where they want the company to go, and they're an independent, which means they can make decisions like that. Acoustics, a bit of a more traditional company. They just came out with the 5000 series about a year ago, and this is a speaker series that is awesome. A little bit, it's kind of the second tier in their line, but the voicing, the sound, the natural tonality, the dynamics of this speaker, I think is just fantastic. One of my favorite speakers is the 5020 and the 5040. They also just came out though with the 3000C series, so it's a refresh on their most affordable line of speakers. And again, they have people that have been there for a long time, and I just think they're doing a fantastic job. Acoustics, also on the rise. Oh, my friends at Emotiva. This is a company that was one of the first direct-to-customer online sales companies. They have their own amplifier line, their own speaker line, subwoofers, home theater processors, home theater receivers, and they're not resting on their laurels. They have new products coming out constantly, and a set of products that is just, I can't talk about it now, but they're just amazing. They're gonna blow everyone away when they come out. And I know all the people over at Emotiva too, and again, they have this true north. They have this ethos, this culture of making better sounding products that are more affordable. A lot of them are made in the USA. They have spectacular customer service, and it seems like, if anything, they're accelerating with more products, better products, outside of the box products, and it's really cool to see. Elac, one of my favorite speaker companies. They just came out with the Debut 3.0. The Debut series, the Andrew Jones designed speaker, was groundbreaking. Everybody loved it because it was such a great speaker at such a low price. The second gen came out. I didn't love it as much, but they just released the third gen, and it is amazing. Warm, rich speaker, huge dynamics, and it reiterates their dedication to the new audiophile, someone that doesn't have a ton of money but wants to get a speaker that just completely outkicks its coverage and outperforms everything else at its price point when you consider what it does best. Wharfedale, the Super Linton, the Super Denton. They continue to go back and not just refresh their speakers, but they're brave enough to take a speaker that has been very popular and take a chance on a new tuning, a new voicing. And the Super Linton, I think, is a great example of this. You still get the wonderful, beautiful real wood veneer, the traditional look, the vintage size 3-way speaker, and they're doing it at a price point that is fairly affordable. Super Linton, I think, come in at $2,500, but the Dentons come in, I think, under $1,000. They continue to push forward. They continue to take chances. They use different tweeters on different speakers. Anyway, Wharfedale is awesome. Kef, even though Kef is not my cup of tea when it comes to their sonic reproduction, they just refreshed their entire affordable line. And they have one called, I think, the R3 Meta, but now they have, I think, the R Concerto or something like that, which is a 3-way speaker, has a coaxial tweeter and mid-range on it. But it's cool to see them reimagining their affordable line of speakers. I don't think they like me very much, But that's okay, because I still think they're a company that's on the rise, or at least a company that knows what their true north is.
Back in that bag again. Whoa, yeah. Hey.
Teac. That's a name that you all remember if you're about my age. They've had great products. The reel-to-reel that they created was infamous, famous, legendary. I feel like it's almost like a reintroduction into the US market. And there's a lot of trickle-down technology from Esoteric, which is a really high-end Japanese brand. So Teac is taking advantage of this R&D that's already been done. They're also leaning into kind of a smaller form factor, which I think is really cool. They're doing great things with Class D amplification. They're doing great things with affordable direct drive turntables that are built really probably built better than any other turntable at the price. I think there's a plan with Teac, especially around that $1,000 price point. And I think we're gonna hear a lot about Teac going forward. Teac's a company on the rise. And finally, JBL. At one point, I thought JBL they're only gonna be Bluetooth speakers. They're only going to be headphones, but they surprised the heck out of me by redesigning the Stage series. So they have a whole new line of what is their most affordable speaker line. They look really good, so you can really tell that they're going after a younger market. They also released a whole new line of receivers, some of them with streaming capabilities, and they all have a very kind of contemporary and unique look. I love to see that JBL is still committed to passive speakers and amplification, and I hope that dedication continues. Harman, who owns JBL, is a monster. Samsung owns Harman. They bought Roon, so I know on one hand they're really dedicated to music and audiophiles, and I'm glad they are. Some companies on the decline. I think it's Polk. I think it's B&W. I think it's everything that was part of the Sound United family of products. So we got Polk, Marantz, Denon, B&W, amongst some other brands out there. But because of the business aspect of the brand, I don't think they can really invest a lot into R&D and new products, with the exception of Marantz. I think Marantz came out with a streaming amplifier that was really well received. I didn't get one. Probably because I make videos like this. But I am concerned about some of these legendary brands. Hopefully they find a new home with someone that's passionate about being an audiophile, because a healthcare company probably doesn't really care about audiophile products. I don't know if these brands are necessarily on the decline, but they're definitely in a holding pattern, because Vox, which owns Klipsch, Pioneer, Onkyo, Yamaha, amongst some other brands, was just sold to another company. So I'm cautiously optimistic about Klipsch and some of these other brands, but time will tell. I think Onkyo's released some new products. I think they're geared more towards lifestyle products, but I'm gonna be really interested to see what happens with Klipsch especially. So I hope you liked this video. If you wanna know a little bit more about Sound United, I did a whole video kind of going through the absolute dumpster fire that was the acquisition of all these storied hi-fi brands by Massimo. I will link that right here. I highly recommend you check it out because it's fascinating stuff. You got activists, investors, the founder and CEO losing his company. It's juicy. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen, maybe through your new Cheap Audio Man coffee mug, or get a new Cheap Audio Man t-shirt, which is screen printed and of the highest quality. And fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.